Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome!
Hello and welcome once again to Cheap Shot Entertainment. We're going to go through everything that happened on night 2 of Wrestlemania 36 on the 5th of April 2020. We've obviously already gone through the first night of Wrestlemania, so you can click the link here, I think, to see that review, and also I'll put it in the description down below the video. And you drop us a like and subscribe and ring the bell, you'll know when new things get uploaded as well. But we're going to go straight into this one, as this is my second attempt at recording because the microphone switched itself off. Anyway, we're going into another pre-show. There's a pre-show match on this one. It is a women's singles match. It is Natalya versus Liv Morgan, and in a small upset, and no small upset shall I say, Liv Morgan picks up the victory. Natalya taking her to wrestling school all the way through this. Obviously the more technically gifted, the more experienced of the two ladies. I do feel like one of these two ladies could have possibly been in the Fatal 5-Way match later on, but I'm not quite sure which brand these two are on, so maybe that wouldn't have been a thing. But Liv Morgan picks up the victory, and a defeat for Natalya, another one. So yeah, even though she's a stalwart in WWE, they're not really giving her much, really, and they're very hot on Liv Morgan. So we go into the main event now, onto the main card, and we get another women's match. It is the NXT women's match between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. I'm sorting out my microphone again. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, and yeah, really competitive match for this one. NXT Women's Championship on the line. Charlotte sporting a black and gold robe for this one, which was really cool, maybe a precursor to what is coming, as well as Rhea Ripley sporting the blue and white colours of SmackDown. So maybe Rhea Ripley is going up to the main card and going to be the next contender for the championship. Maybe Shayna Baszler has done it on Raw, why not put Rhea Ripley straight into SmackDown? And a meteoric rise it would be too. However, she will not be going there with the NXT Championship because Charlotte picks up the victory with the figure 8, and it was, like I say, really competitive. Really enjoyed this match. Great opener. Rhea Ripley showing exactly why she's had that meteoric rise, because she is that damn good, and she gave Charlotte a run for her money. She countered almost everything, but it would be ultimately the leg injury, of the left leg, that would come back to haunt her in this one. And Charlotte Flair is your new NXT Women's Champion, going back to the black and gold brand. So I mean, that opens up all sorts of things. I'm thinking Bianca Belair, Candice LeRae. You've got quite a few people on NXT that could go for that championship, and it would bring the stock of NXT up a lot, because people know who Charlotte Flair is. Now it's going it's going head to head with AEW. So yeah, I think I'm okay. I don't necessarily think it's the right decision, but I think it's the right decision for the time, so to speak. It's a very business-like answer, that is, isn't it? I don't think it's. I don't hate it, but I'm not really up with it either, because Rhea Ripley had worked so hard to get to that point, and obviously had a big celebration in the ring when she won and things like that. But there you go. Onto a singles match next. Is Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley with Lana. Don't know the background of this match at all. So don't expect a big review of this match. It was a match. It was probably one of the weakest ones on the second night. But you know, I love Aleister Black, and I really like Bobby Lashley, and he's sporting a new look in this one, black and gold. Maybe a precursor for him to go to NXT, I don't know. And he's wearing full leg tights coming down to the ring. Black would hit a black mass on Bobby Lashley as Lana tells Lashley to go for the spear. It gets countered into the black mass. Bobby Lashley loses. Lana looks on with disdain for her husband, and kudos to WWE. I was saying this last night for the boys. At least they carry on with their really cruddy stories. But hey, you know, if it's working, people are still invested in it, people know about it, and it's a talking point. So why not? You know, why not indeed? One of the best storylines going into WrestleMania. I mean, I don't watch SmackDown and Raw because I don't have BT Sport. But I knew of this, and it caused a massive internet buzz when it was happening, and all this kind of stuff. It's Otis Dozovich versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, these two have been having an on and off again feud for quite a while. It's a shame that Tucker has been put on the back burner at this point, but I think it's necessary to have this very memorable WrestleMania moment, because Otis Dozovich does pick up the victory. Dolph Ziggler is out to ringside with Sonya Deville. So if you didn't know, much like me, I had to sort of watch the hype package beforehand, which was pretty damn good. And basically it was revealed on SmackDown, on the Go Home show for SmackDown, that Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler were in cahoots, so to speak, to make sure that Mandy didn't go out with Otis. And the Valentine's Day date was sabotaged by Sonya Deville texting Otis from Mandy Rose's phone, or why she would leave her phone there, I have no idea. But there you go. And yeah, Dolph comes in. Basically, she texts Otis saying, I'm going to be late, so Otis turns up late, although, you know, you get there for your time of your booking. Maybe I'm just old school like that, but there you go. And Dolph Ziggler, you know, turns up. Obviously, she wasn't going to be late, but, you know, he got there a bit later, and Dolph Ziggler's there saying, you know, Otis didn't turn up. But there you go. But, you know, just picked a hole in that whole storyline. But hey, you know, Dozovich gives us blokes like me some hope that there is a lady out there as gorgeous as Mandy Rose. They can sweep off their feet and carry them to the back. And it's like he gets the victory and he gets the girl, and it's like yes, yes, yes. Can you imagine that pop in the big stadium, the Raymond James Stadium, if that was in front of the crowd? Because that was awesome. Such a good moment for Otis Dozovich. And hoping that, you know, now the Mandy Rose has asserted herself in this feud, that it is probably going to end. But then you've got to think, okay, maybe there's going to be a mixed tag match here. There's going to be more things going off between Mandy Rose and Otis Dozovich. Where does Tucker come in? Is he going to join Dolph Ziggler? I'd be really gutted if they split up Heavy Machinery personally, but there you go. But yeah, he wins with the Caterpillar elbow drop after Mandy Rose comes in and interferes, gives Dolph a low blow for his troubles, and Otis Dozovich wins, gets the girl, gets the victory. Yay! Last man standing match next. This match was absolutely epic. I feel like it just went on a little bit too long for my liking. They had the sort of 40-minute mark. I believe that's how long this went. I felt like it was bit too long. But they start off in the ring as normal. Great opening. Edge comes down to the ring for his last man standing match, gets his entrance, his smoke and things like that. And Randy Orton's music hits. He doesn't appear from the ramp. He has been dressed as a cameraman all this time. So he sneaks up behind Edge, grabs Edge into an RKO out of nowhere, and that's how we start. Here's another RKO. Edge really selling the RKO here, and at that point they've never really hit the ring again, because they battle outside the ring, they battle to the back, they go through the training area, which has been set up like a backstage area, the gorilla position and all that kind of stuff. You even get to see the training office that Gargano and Ciampa were fighting in a couple of weeks ago. And between this match and that feud, that battle, really hope that this is a backstage area on the next WWE game. So make it happen, because this would be really cool. Anyway, they battle through the weights area. They use the weights to their advantage. Randy Orton ties up Edge at one point in some ropes that they use, possibly for chest press, like body weight assisted chest press. And yeah, really, like, they battle all the way through. They come round the other side. Funniest moment of the night, and of the two nights in fact, apart from Undertaker saying "come here boy," was the cameraman falling over as Edge and Randy Orton battle round the corner, and I just thought that was like a scene straight out of a video game. It was really fun, like The Condemned or something, and it was really fun. And such a fun match, and they battle all the way around. They come back out. Edge gets thrown off a platform onto the barricade, and this is the bit where I thought that they didn't really need it. They fight around the barricade into the crowd and go back out where they started again. So that whole section could have just gone, boom. You know, you're in the backstage area, just battle out into the garage area where they go next. So they go into the garage area, which is also a storage area. They've got the trucks and things like that, and a full table of snacks. Now, why is the table of snacks there? Are they out of date snacks? What I was really disappointed in was that no one went through that table. And you know, the snacks didn't go everywhere, which I was really disappointed with. But in a moment, again, taken from a WWE game, you see lots of really big ladders set up. I mean, they've got a fetish for ladders at WWE, and they battle up onto the top of a trailer for a truck, and you get a spear from Edge. They're battling up there. Randy Orton goes to concerto Edge. That doesn't happen, it's countered. Edge comes back with a spear and a concerto of his own to pick up the victory. Like I say, it got to around about the 40-minute mark, and I was like, really? It may not have gone that long, but it certainly did feel like it went just that little bit too long. And you know, they could have given Dozovich and Ziggler a bit more time to play out that one, and maybe Ziggler could have beaten up Otis a bit more before Mandy Rose came out, that kind of thing. But you know, it's a needs-must situation. Really good match, and a really good emotional moment for Edge as he gives Randy Orton a kiss tenderly on the forehead as he is lying motionless on the floor, on the top of lying motionless on the top of a truck, having just had his head caved in with a chair. And you can't get more emotional than that, really. So Edge picks up the victory. Where does he go from here? I don't know. Whether he's got a new contract or whether he's going to do multiple matches, I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out what's going to happen with that. So yeah, only time will tell. with Edge as to whether he's going to carry on or not. Who knows? Maybe that's his one moment in WrestleMania history. We get the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line next. It is the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus the Contenders, who are barely a tag team and plucked out of NXT at the last minute. Angel Garza and Austin Theory, both very good. And obviously Austin Theory is very big on the indies, so I mean he could definitely carry it, and they both carried it really well. It did turn out to be a bit of a squash. Obviously they were out there with Selena Vega. Andrade is not there, conspicuous in his absence. Like I said, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown, so I don't know if that was an injury or something like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a throwaway, bit of a shame, but then you wouldn't expect Angelo Dawkins and Austin Theory to pick up the victory here. And so we get a TKO and a frog splash from Montez Ford, who pick up the victory in this one. Again, bit of a throwaway match. It was okay for what it was. Austin Theory and Angel Garza certainly did put up a good fight, and they gave as good as they got here. But Selena Vega tried to get involved, and that's when after the match finished, we got sore loser syndrome from Garza and Theory. They beat up Montez Ford. Bianca Belair makes her main roster debut, so to speak, coming down to the ring to save Montez Ford, her real life husband, and Angelo Dawkins. And a nice little moment there where they're celebrating and just a really tender moment together. So I think, Bianca Belair on the main roster with the Street Profits would be really, really cool. But at the same time, I really want to see Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair, because you don't go here. But now she does, because she's the champion. So what's she going to come up with next? I don't know. But yeah, I thought the ending was a bit better than the actual match. But there you go, that's just me. Fatal 5-way Women's Elimination Championship match next for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It is Bayley versus Sasha Banks, defending her title against Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, Tamina. She's still a thing. I was as surprised as most people, I would imagine. And Naomi. So Fatal 5-way elimination rules in play. Tamina goes out first, and they've made the right decision there, because she was definitely the throwaway in this. Usually when they do things like this, they sort of get rid of a big name first, like a Naomi, or Lacey Evans is a bigger name than Tamina. She's just sort of hanging around in the background. Tamina goes first, multiple lady pins, everyone piles on top of Tamina and gets her gone. And Naomi goes next to the bank statement. She taps out, cannot answer that submission. Banks goes next after Bayley pushes Sasha Banks out of the way as Lacey Evans is going to deliver the women's right. She pushes Banks out of the way, ducks the women's right, and as Lacey Evans turns around, she clocks Sasha Banks with it anyway, as Bayley falls down to the floor, and Lacey Evans eliminates Sasha Banks, with Bayley seemingly looking on and not making much attempt to save her best friend. Obviously this leads to a bit of an argument between the two. Sasha Banks eventually leaves, and Lacey Evans gets the better of Bayley for the next couple of minutes before Sasha Banks comes back out and saves the championship for her best friend, costing Lacey Evans the victory, and Bayley picks up the win. So yeah, interesting. So you don't know what's going to happen as the pre-match interview went. And we certainly didn't. I certainly wasn't expecting Sasha Banks to come back out and help Bayley after that little argument that they had during the match. But I like where this is going. This is very much a, oh yeah, I'm still your mate, but I'm going to sort of take your title later on when you're not quite expecting it. Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm very invested in as a bit of a storyline there, because you wonder whether they were going to pull the trigger on this one, and I think now might be a good time to do that. With the Boneyard match being the highlight of the first night, we got the Firefly Funhouse on the second night, the overproduced, just insaneness, and it's exactly what we need in an insane world. We needed some zaniness in our lives from Bray Wyatt and John Cena in the Firefly Funhouse, and you can tell John Cena's really enjoying this one. Bray Wyatt's finally been allowed to just be as creative as he likes as well, which is great. I love that. And yeah, it was a really interesting concept, because John Cena starts in the ring. He comes out, he's just about to say welcome to WrestleMania, the lights go out, we get the Firefly Funhouse music, and Bray Wyatt appears, so, hey John, it's time to step into the Funhouse. And it's like, it's through that door. And you get to see all the puppets and things, and throughout this match you get them, Mr. McBossman, that's his name. The puppet of Vince. I think they actually use his voice as well, which is really cool. But all through, it's like a flashback of John Cena. It's almost like he's using John Cena against John Cena here. He's battling, and his biggest opponent is himself. And that's quite a strong message. Lots of people have their biggest opponent being themselves, because they always beat themselves up for doing something that they should have done or whatever. And yeah, it was a really interesting concept. I really enjoyed this match. It was wacky, it was zany. It's not quite the Funhouse, but it was the Firefly Funhouse, because you didn't have Pat Sharp with his massive mullet, but you did have Bray Wyatt as the Fiend, who would eventually turn up and give John Cena the mandible claw after several segments, including the SmackDown Fist and John Cena's debut. John Cena playing John Cena in his debut, walking past the SmackDown Fist. And yeah, he walks past and he's wearing his two-tone trunks they wore on that night, and then he comes out as Doctor of Thugonomics, and it's like Bray Wyatt saying, you're going to beat yourself up, and the brother's going to smack himself down. And I thought that's a reference to Nation of Domination and DX. That was a feud. Anyway, just a really weird, fun match, and I really enjoyed this one. I can't say that I'd want it to happen again. I think it was needed for this particular feud, for how it's really not been built up. Obviously, the thing that Bray Wyatt was on top, Cena beat him at WrestleMania, and now he's going to get his revenge through the Fiend, and he did just that. And the Fiend / Bray Wyatt wins in a 2-on-1 handicap match against John Cena, Super John Cena. And I think this might just put John Cena into legendary status, because he was really good in this match, really played the part, and it was just really, really fun. So I'm going to go back and watch this match again, because it was a thing and I really enjoyed it. So WWE Championship match next. It is the main event. It is Brock Lesnar defending the championship against the 2020 Royal Rumble winner Drew McIntyre. And basically this is the way the match went. 3 German suplexes, 3 F5s. They were all kicked out of by Drew McIntyre, making him look really, really strong, because it usually takes about 3 to take someone out. We then get 5 Claymore kicks. I think 1 Claymore kick, it came in between the F5s and the German suplexes. Another 4 Claymore kicks, puts the beast down, and Drew McIntyre is the first ever British-born WWE champion. Now, I know what you're saying. You're thinking, hold on a minute, Sheamus has been the champion. He is from the Republic of Ireland, so he's not British, he's Irish. So there's a very distinct thing there. The first ever UK champion, yeah, not a great match. It was never going to be a technical masterpiece, but it's like having 5 SmackDowns to start a match on SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain, and it was necessary. And I have a lot of respect for Brock for putting Drew McIntyre over, because I know he doesn't doesn't let anybody go over him. So so he drops the title. Brock's probably going to be gone now for a while as a prize fighter. Drew McIntyre picks up the championship, and it's a feel-good moment. He celebrates with the TV universe, the WWE universe, says thank you to the camera. He was reaching out and pointing, and he was like, it was you. It's like, you helped me. It was me. I helped him win that championship. And you helped him win that championship as well, as Cheap Shot Nation. And yeah, it was again a throwaway. It was necessary. You had 2 part-time champions, and it was very much the same as the Goldberg match. But yeah, it was what it was, and we got the right decision made in the end. Drew McIntyre is your new champion, and he works really hard for that. Having been fired, come back, having been the NXT champion, got injured, dropped it to Andrade. Andrade got moved up. Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere. He was Dolph Ziggler's lackey, and then all of a sudden he wins the Royal Rumble, and we now have a WWE champion, British born. Drew McIntyre, well done, and very much deserved is that victory. So that is everything that happened on night 2, and we should have sound this time from WrestleMania 36. Do you think it could work going to a 2-night WrestleMania every year? Was you expecting this pay-per-view to be any good going over 2 nights? Did you enjoy the pay-per-view as a whole? What was your favourite match? Did you not enjoy the pay-per-view? Because there was a lot of people online, giving WWE stick for even going ahead with this, and I think it's something that we all needed. There's no wrestling about at the moment, just AEW and WWE. NWA is on a hiatus because of the coronavirus. Something that I'm really gutted about, because I really enjoyed NWA. And yeah, tell us if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comments section down below, and get on social media, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, Cheap Shot Entertainment, and also ring the bell the notifications to know when we upload new content to the channel. There's not going to be another pay-per-view now on WWE until May the 10th, so it's going to be a good month until we do another one of these wrestling videos, but we've got lots of content coming your way, including the retro reviews that we've been doing from the year 2000. Obviously next up is Backlash on April the 30th, and that video will be released on April the 30th, so that's going to be cool. And in the meantime, I've been your host, the Reverend Luke Edwards, delivering this sermon on WrestleMania 36, the second night of WrestleMania 36. You are the Cheap Shot Nation, and I will see you next time. Take care of yourself, stay safe, stay at home, and protect each other as best you can. Goodbye.